Hey, thanks so much for joining me. Welcome back to Supermarket Simulator. They had an update today where you could hire workers, and I did. I hired hired stockers, and I did. So I have 3 stock gentlemen stocking the shelves for me, and they only pull from the shelves. So that means I need to move all that stuff that I had laying on the ground to the shelves. And I'm not doing a very good job of keeping track of where I put stuff. Because I feel like I don't have to, since they're going to do it for me. That was a pretty big change. So it was basically you could hire 3 or up to 4 workers. I need more shelf space if I'm going to order more or hire more, which I plan on doing. I'll get more guys on my to-do list. I was thinking about making a spreadsheet of all the items that are available to purchase, and then putting said spreadsheet into page protectors, and then using dry erase markers to mark what products I need, because yes, I am that kind of nerd. No shame. But still sticking by the same rule, if you don't hit the open time, the clock doesn't move forward. So these guys will just work indefinitely until I hit that button. I'm kind of enjoying watching them scurry around. It's kind of fun. I feel a little bad though. Hold on. I think I confused myself. No, I didn't. Maybe I did. Okay, so the okay, I get it. The tag is for the shelf underneath. I was like, that is the wrong size box for that. Oh, you know what that means, though? That means I can order the boxes. I can stock these shelves, and then I can leave and, like, go make food, and these guys will stock the shelves, and when I come back, I'll have full shelves. Seems a bit... Seems like a bit fun. Let's grab While they're working on that, I'll grab this. And... oh, that was the end of that box. I don't know what muska is, but it looks like lasagna. Guys? I just think back watching these guys work and watching how I'm stocking the back shelves. It makes me think of every time that I've worked in retail, how many times we've gotten yelled at bosses for not paying attention to where we're stocking things in the back room and not following company policy. And stocking shelves, and here's me just cramming it on whatever shelf will fit. I do have that type of personality that I will start off doing my damnest to be neat and orderly and organized, and then I'm not. Suddenly there's like a switch in my brain that flips, and I'm suddenly like, over it. And then get mad at myself about why is everything a mess. Like, there's nobody to blame but me. So, in the previous episode, one of the things I talked about, I had mentioned that I know that durian is a smelly fruit, and that I feel like I can't judge because I have my own foods that I love to eat that's smelly, and one of them is kimchi. I grew up on kimchi, so I am an American Korean child. Grew up in America. My first part of my life, I started in Texas in a Korean community. I have a white father and a Korean mother, and we grew up in Killeen, Texas. And if you're familiar with Killeen, Texas at all, Killeen, Texas is a military family town. Usually, when someone tells you, "Oh, I'm from Killeen, Texas," anyone who's familiar with the area is like, you got somebody in your life that's from that's in the military, and it's usually always a yes. So yeah, that's where I'm from. And growing up around there, I grew up around Korean food, Korean spicy food, and also being where I was, also grew up around quite a bit of Mexican food. So I have a palate that loves hot food. Now, I can get started on the type of hot food that I love because I'm really picky about my hot food. I am not one that just wants to blast my taste buds with heat just to prove that I can take it, because I can, but it's not my favorite way to prove my strength. My favorite type of heat is the heat that builds in your mouth. If you know what I'm talking about, it's the kind that you take, you eat it and you're like, oh, okay, well, that's got a little bit of spice. And then the more you eat it, you're like, ooh, that's going to start to make me sweat. And I love that with everything in me. Oh, wait, that's what they were talking about. They changed this. Sorry. Broke off conversation. Anyway, so that is that. But when I was talking about the durian fruit, I said I can't judge anyone who likes to eat durian because I eat kimchi. And if you're not familiar with kimchi, kimchi is a spicy cabbage, a fermented cabbage. For my American folks, it's kind of along the concept of sauerkraut, if you know sauerkraut. But it's a fermented cabbage, and like many fermented foods, it's got a smell to it. It smells, what makes it smell, actually, it's not so much the fermentation process. It's actually usually made with either a fermented shrimp or a fish sauce or something like that. And so it's got a fishy smell to it. And to some people, they find it really quite unpleasant, especially if you're not used to it. My adopted parents say that it smells like sewage. They can eat rotten socks. And they'll actually, in fact, say it tastes like rotten socks. Anyway. So I grew up around kimchi. And when I was little, Oh, I guess I gotta explain this part of it too. My biological mom passed when I was little, and my biological dad kind of like lost himself a bit and turned to drinking and could not stay sober for the life of him. So he lost custody of me, and I was adopted by some very nice people. But they were in Minnesota, and actually I have family in Minnesota, biological family in Minnesota. But so in Minnesota, Minnesota is not known for their diversity, at least not when I was a kid. So finding kimchi up here was like a miracle. No one ever really heard of it. Wasn't really a thing that people knew about. Uh, Anyway, when I was an adult, I started to make my own kimchi because I love kimchi and I missed it so much. And I could only find it here and there. It wasn't something that was really easy to find. So I started to make my own. Now, adult me, I used to actually work for a bank not many, but some eons ago, I worked for a bank as a teller, and there was a gentleman, actually, of all things, a farmer, who would come in and do his banking with us. And so many of my fellow coworkers didn't so much like dealing with him. And actually, at first, he wasn't my favorite either because he was abrupt. He was actually often very cold, too. Like, he just, like, everything we were doing was wasting his time. And one day, just kind of out of the blue, I noticed that he was wearing a World War, a Korean veteran hat, a Korean War veteran hat, and I had made a comment about that. You know, I said, "Hey, my father was served in Korea too," and he goes, "Oh, did he come back with a Korean wife?" And I said, "Yeah," and he kind of crudely, I mean, I guess if I looked into it a little too hard, I would be kind of upset, but he didn't mean it in a mean way, but he says, "Ah, you're a product of that, huh?" And I kind of like, it took me back by surprise because he said it so abruptly. Like, I don't, it was kind of crude, but it's fine. And I was like, yeah, I'm a product of that. And he goes, like, eat that kimchi? And I laughed. And by this point, I am used to Minnesotans' reactions to kimchi. They've never heard of it. Of course, quite a few of them are frightened of it. The ones that have heard of it are frightened of it or think it's terrible. And some others would, make jokes about the Norwegian sauerkraut. Sauerkraut itself has it's a fermented cabbage in its own right, but it's sour, not hot. And so I said, yeah. And he goes, it's like, out of all the things that I missed from Korea, it's finding a good batch of kimchi. And I'm actually at this point, I'm just making small talk. Like, I'm trying to go through his transaction. I appreciate that he's not being rude at the moment and that, he's letting me work with him and I'm getting through his transaction and his needs. And so kind of offhandedly, actually not putting much thought into it, I just kind of blindly said, "Oh, well, I make my own homemade kimchi. Would you like a batch?" And he looked at me like I said the weirdest thing, which I guess kind of it was. But we're also Minnesota nice. It's not that unheard of to say something like that. But anyway, he's like, "Actually, yes." Like, I can't remember exactly how he phrased it, but it was something along the lines of, yes, I would. And so I did. I got him a homemade batch of my own kimchi. And I stored it in the workers' fridge at work, much to their dismay. Because kimchi can be powerful. It can smell up the whole area if you're not careful. And it wasn't too much longer after that. He came in and I gave him his batch of kimchi, and he was so happy that he got kimchi and he loved it. And actually, even though I no longer work there, and I hadn't shortly after I gave him that kimchi, I had already at that time knew I was leaving the company. He would come in just for my kimchi, and actually, in fact, he would tell the other ladies, "No, I don't want you to help me." He would wait for me to free up so he could talk to me in the hopes that I would get kimchi. So I had to tell him after about a month of the discovery of him liking kimchi that, hey, I'm leaving the company. But if you want, I can give you my info, and anytime you want kimchi, I will give you a batch of kimchi. And I did. I gave him a batch. He would try to pay me, but I would never take it. But he did buy me a lunch a few times. I had worked, my new job had me working next door to a mom and pop restaurant, and I actually knew that that's where he was, but it's a small town. It's not like, not that big of a surprise. But he would hunt me down, and anyway, he bought me lunch there, and I would continue meeting him there off and on to give him said kimchi. He passed away some years ago due to cancer, but he after the giving him the kimchi, he actually was the nicest man I ever knew. But I just remember first interaction with him was rough, but I mean, in all fairness, this man was up in the years. He was a small-time farmer. Probably a lot of bullshit with that he had to deal with. His body was giving out. You know, he put a lot of wear and tear on his body. Man was tired. He was tired. He was tie-tie. But, yeah, anyway, so someone had mentioned about the only people he knew that had heard of kimchi was people who served in the war, and that is true up here in Minnesota. Now, though, in current, the age of 2024, that's actually not so much true now. Hippies made it quite popular to eat kimchi. Why? I don't know. Now they're like, oh, now it's healthy. Okay, so we need chocolate. Sorry, I got the hiccups. I've been having the hiccups off and on for the last 3 days. I feel like in the videos I'm always apologizing for the hiccups. For the most part, the mic doesn't pick up on it, but every once in a while I'm talking, if I hiccup, you can hear it. Oh, I know what I was going to talk to you guys about. There's something I have to address, because there was someone who was mad in the comments and said that I cheated because there was no way that I could have gotten this in this time. So I have to address that. And I realized after I looked back in the video, I gave you guys wrong information. So in the prologue, I played this game, and then you guys hadn't seen me play it at all. And then the game came out in early access, and I played an hour of a news story then. And then in the news store, after I finished that, I went back to my original save file of the prologue, because in the prologue I had continued to play, and I had unlocked probably half the unlockables at that time, maybe a little bit more. And I just went back to that. I just didn't feel like it was worth in a new gameplay going through the process of buying everything again. And I wanted the new stuff. So, yeah. So, sorry to the person who was mad and thought I cheated. I didn't. I wish I knew how. There's kind of a funny story with that. I kind of laugh. I don't take it personally when someone says, "Oh, you cheated." One, they don't know, and I do have this habit of skipping forward, because I always get mixed signals. Half the crowd hates it when I show them everything. Half the crowd likes it when I show them everything, and I just never know. I'm too small, and I have too small of viewers to know which category likes what, and so I just try to take my best guess on that. I get the same accusation for Gas Station Simulator because I'm like a millionaire in there. But what a lot of people don't pay attention to is I started playing Gas Station Simulator way in its demo phase and its prologue phase. Same thing that I did here. And you didn't have much money to spend your money on once you unlocked the workshop once you could repair vehicles, and once you repaired vehicles you could make 5-6 million a day easily if you worked if you yourself did the car repair. Was that it? Okay, I thought there was more boxes. Yes. So yeah, I had made tons of money playing before they started to release all the DLCs. And then by the time they released all the DLCs, I had all that money. But I was also purging through that money so quickly with the release of the DLCs, because especially the airstrip one, that one chewed up your money like crazy. Watch my... Did you see that? I don't know if you could see it, but through the corner there, we could see the packages fall through the sky. I find it funny that those guys are just standing standing there, right there. Those are not scaring the workers. I'm surprised we don't have a back door, a back exit. The AI is actually kind of decent. I was expecting the AI for everyone to go to the same shelf, like all three of them at the same time. They don't. Didn't I put... that up there, but it's not. Now, how bad do I mess these guys up if I take the spot where the box that they were stacking? Grab some potatoes. Potatoes and chicken, I think, are the other two. 2, 4, and... yeah, no, 2. Alright. After I do that, we'll do a quick walkthrough and see if there's anything that's desperate that needs to be filled. If not, I'll hit the open sign and we'll go from there. My shelf. My shelves. Done. All right. Oh, I just realized. So they will only stock the shelves that have product on it. If the product is empty, they won't touch it. Alright, so chocolate and the red flour. I guess that makes sense. How would they know that it goes there? Oh. No. good there. We need more alcohol. Who doesn't need alcohol? Yeah. A little soup. Let's drink. Oop. Funny. Now the lag might get a little unbearable. We'll find out. Alright, so there is some flaws in the worker. Did you see that? What was that about, my dude? Not where that goes. Oh no. Oh no, they're dumb. Oh, did you see that? Oh. Oh no. Well, that's a problem. It went from green or mixed vegetables to powdered sugar back to mixed vegetables. Oh, I gotta go full blade. Full. Alright, so the workers aren't perfect. They can only fill a shelf that already has merchandise on it. Guess that wasn't what I was envisioning, but I'm not... I mean, I get it. It means I might also have to go back to my original game plan of correctly making a plan for these shelves. And now I can finish off the day. I'm afraid to go look to see what has gone awry. My stuff. Can't I go up? I have to jump up first before I can do anything. Okay, so the soda needs to be filled. Oh, juices. Okay. Okay, I'm just looking. Bread. Bread. And here I was thinking about with the release of the new workers, just restarting a new game, but not quite yet. I mean, now I understand with the game once, it's a little easier to play. Still bothered by this toilet paper milk situation we got going on here. can fix this milk situation over here. And it magically all turned into... Close the lid. It's kind of funny. Okay. Books. Okay. So the shelf here. Once upon a time. Hey, the big surprise book. Big surprise. Means I'm gonna put this box away and it's gonna have just one book in it. Hey, they fixed the top of the book. Box. Vintage storybook. there. Hey. Oh yeah, candy. Candy. And bread. What's the difference between sandwich bread and... Oh wait, they're the same. Sandwich bread and bread. Just a size thing? I just noticed it now says how many will fit on a shelf. Cool. I'm running over my bread. What else do we need? Alright, the books are done. Done. Whoa. Feels like I'm always ordering toilet paper. Never stops. So something late in life that my one dog has developed is she's developed a love for tearing up tissue paper. And this started late. She's like 12 years old, I think, now. I mean, she's an elder dog. But now we have to close the bathroom door because she'll go into the bathroom and tear the toilet paper off the toilet paper rolls to shred it and eat some of it. Because, you know, you eat your prize. Oh, yeah, that's... like... We started this so late in life. I don't know what to tell you. Those are all full. Yes, I could flip the switch on to start one more day. dang expensive. But they sell quite well. I'm gonna want more shelves. Oh, how we have the money grab. I don't think I'm gonna hire another guy, even though I think I can afford it, only because there's really no reason to. There. Books are good. These are good. Gee, more sushi and pet stuff. Okay. Let's triple check and make sure there's nothing else. Spaghetti. Look at them running over my toothpaste. My toothpaste. Oh. Bleach. Like we need to buy a bunch of milk too. I gotta swing by and look at the eggs as well. have to order some lights for this store. Oh. That's a problem. Alright, shampoo. Didn't kick in. Right. Oh, I know what I'm looking for. Sugar. Her hair's freaking out. Freaking out hair. She's standing like her feet hurt so bad. Poor thing. I think I will call it an end. At the end of this day, I wanted to see what the workers were like. If you want to see more, I'll definitely do more. Or else I'll just keep an eye out for updates and bring you new updates as well. I am revisiting Gas Station Simulator. There's a new DLC coming out, and I will be playing that. The developer was very kind to let me play a few days early, because I believe it comes out on the 21st, and I'm allowed to bring you the footage on the 15th. So I will show you the Gas Station Simulator tidal wave on the 15th.